mind us, buddy, for doing the video. Steer clear if you can. We love you very much.
Is that my nephew, Josh?
Yeah.
Hi, Josh.
He's a good guy, Josh.
There's a little room at the back somewhere in St. Clair where I interviewed you, or you.
Yeah, no, I think so.
No,
I
it was
thought the
St.
first
Clair.
time I saw you was soft surfaces.
Was, but then I came back for St. Clair.
Okay.
And I remember leaving after talking to you, and I got home, and Jocelyn was like, so what's it all about? I said, I had no idea. Like, what do they do? I'm not sure. What do they want you to do? No, I don't know. and then you go back, and you kept going back, and it started to get clear, but really there was no game plan. It was, let's see what you can do. Then he hands me the box. Remember that box? What did it say on the side of the box? Ultralast? Was it Ultralast at the time?
Yeah.
There was a box with all the contents of all the competitive information and everything. All the trade secrets were in a little
Come down,
banker's box.
come down, sorry, come down, sorry. We're gonna meet. Holy crow, come back, sorry. I got sorry dozens of times. Come driving.
Swiss Chalet was part of that.
Yeah. And he walks me to the parking lot and he hands me the box. And I remember opening the trunk, he puts it, good luck, and he walked away. Good luck at what? See what you can do with it. Okay, and because he was three-quarters in St. Clair, phones ringing, people falling off the back of trucks, and I went home with the box. Right, could hardly read his handwriting. He writes like a doctor, right? So I'm trying to read the scripts for the whole thing and who's this, and I remember laying it out kind of on the ground. Where does he want you? I still had no clue.
You just have to look through some of the old catalogs to see some of the cringe moments. You know, like the
Sin
original
or cringe?
the cringe
Yeah.
and sin.
Did you ever cringe
Well, not as much now then as when you look at it now.
Oh, my
Like the very poor photoshopping on some of the catalogs for today's standard. But then some of the, like a trellis lattice with the arch, but then no spokes or anything in the, just because the early arches were all made by Scott Doolittle in a pizza oven in his mom and dad's garage, right? So the early arches he'd bend in the pizza oven in the garage, and to make a nice spokes on the bottom, he couldn't route holes in the bottom of those arches. So we thought, well, let's just, send it out with just nothing in it there. A customer can hang a pot in it or something, because it was just too hard to figure it out, right? And you look at it now and go, what is that? That's ridiculous, right?
I still remember when we first got our Lowe's program, we were at the line review, and Step 2, is a big competitor of ours, was there, and they kind of looked over at us and joked and said, oh, Maine, you don't need to be here. They already made their decisions. You're not involved. And they were totally joking, being sarcastic. Well, we went in and presented, and we did win the contract. So, I remember Guy and I finished, when we walked out of that, we both felt like we were going to throw up. Like, that was the most intense presentation we've ever done. 5 or 6 people staring down at you, and you're presenting, you're just a small guy with one mail post ready to try and get this business. And there's Step 2, the big giant out there making fun of us, basically, and we pulled it off. So, there's some exciting stories, some simple ones, some more elaborate ones, but, it's just amazing the things we've been through in the last 10 years.
If you had told me this would look like this today, was this designed and purposed, intentional, and strategic? Not a chance. I remember telling a story quickly on at New England Arbors. I came into work one day and said, look, this is how this is all going to work. I rolled over there. Guy was working. Hey, there's 20,000 garden centers in America, and if only 10% of them are effective, like DeGroots, that means there's 2,000 of them out there. All we're going to do is go out there and get them to sell like 10 grand a piece. That's 20 million bucks. Bingo.
Good math.
Let's go. We charged off. Charge! Full charge! Remember that?
Yeah.
I would say there's a good group. I know it sounds a little on the cheesy side, but there's a good group of friends up there, truly. We all care about each other. We help in each other's personal lives when we have the opportunity, and there's a mutual respect for everyone there. It's good. It's a really good atmosphere to work in.
I think the best thing is just the people that we work with, and we all have a common goal of making sure we deliver the best products and customer service that we can, and everybody's great to get along with, and we've got perks like wearing slippers and great coffee and things like that.
So these two guys called. I was heading to the airport to go to Sam's Club to do the final presentation. I had gone 3 times. The last time I went, we sent a sample down the base covered with carpet, and he put it behind the building, behind Sam's Club building, and it was like, August in where are they, Arkansas, like 120 degrees outside. And I remember sitting there waiting, and he came bahahing through the back field in his truck with the big lights. The horn, the buyer, Todd Webb. He comes out, Southern accent, comes walking in, and I'm sweating because it's so hot. He goes underneath it, and he puts his hands up on the spindles, the spokes, and he pulls the whole thing so it collapses. And he says, if you can get it not to do that, we'll do a deal. See you later. And he walked like 3 minutes. 3 plane rides, 2 days to get down there for 10 seconds.
And I remember you called me and you said, you got to fix this. And I said, I got in that little Mazda B210 and did 160 kilometers an hour up to Frank Zawalski. Pulled into the parking lot and said, Frank, we have to fix this right now. It's got to be done. And then he put us in touch with ABC Molding in Toronto. I put the mold in the back of a trailer behind the Dodge Intrepid, pulled it down there. They blew it 3 times as thick. Everyone was happy.
A memory I have, which is always one that I like to tell people, is last year when me and Ken were in China, we're having lunch with a factory over there called Wood Tech. Eating our lunch, and the owner speaks hardly any English. He's like forcing Ken, you gotta try. And there's like a pot of crabs, but he's picking out one specific part of the crab for Ken to eat. And so Ken eats it. Ken's not a very adventurous food guy. So Ken asks the owner's son, like, what did I just eat? So the guy, looks at his phone and try to find the correct word. And he looks up at Ken and he goes, sperm. Which then I just I lost it. I was out there, almost on the floor. Just if you know Ken, he's not an adventurous food eater. So something like this, it was just like, oh man, this is like the best story I have working for New England Arbors, the funniest.
We were doing a sales presentation at Menards, Melissa and I, and we had just finished setting everything up, but our cordless drill had died. So we could just get a 1 screw into everything to have it standing while the drill is charging, so we can then, put it all together. Well, while we're standing there, it's 1,000 degrees, sweating like crazy, and I see coming across the parking lot, because you're all outside in this big parking lot, people at the far end of the parking lot, I see some dust swirling around, and I see this wood arbor hit the ground, and I thought, oof, that sucks to be him, that kind of thing. And this aluminum arbor falls over. Then all of a sudden, it hits here, and our pergola starts doing, like, I'm Melissa, I'm putting together an arbor, and I hear Melissa, Ken, and I look up, and our pergola is doing this. So I run and grab the post, but it's too late. It comes down on the ground, but it hits the arbor right beside it. It was a dominoes game. The arbor tips over because we had them all lined up across the front, tips over that arbor, and the last arbor in the run didn't have any screws in it, just the arch was sitting on the top. And as the last arbor hit it, it pinched the side panel and shot the arch like a big giant horseshoe into the sky, and it was in the guy's booth beside us when I went and got it. Final smashed all over the ground. It was total humiliation.
There's always something going on. We've got between new products, new customers, whether it's in the United States or right now we're worldwide, and trying to increase that market. So that makes it exciting.
I was fortunate in my timing for getting hired on with Maine. I attended the first Christmas party last year in Niagara Falls without actually having punched the clock yet. So definitely a good introduction to kind of the life and the culture of the group of companies. Got an opportunity to meet everybody, and I hadn't actually sat down in my chair yet. And then in January, I was able to bring my family and my children to the kids' Christmas party, which was held at Great Wolf Lodge. So definitely some great introductions to the company.
For me personally, I want to grow with the company as much as I can. This company has so much potential. It's grown so much over the last 12 years, and it's continuing to grow, and I'm excited to be a part of that, and I really want to grow with the company and expand my role as well.
I hope that we just keep growing and building. We've got some really exciting international business on the horizon, as well as Vita is growing at such a great rate that I just see new, more inventive products. People are excited about the things that we're coming out with, and so it's great to be a part of that and help be part of that growth.
We're all here to learn, and we're all here to back each other up. If someone is unable to do something, you know, people rally together to help them out, and there's always an opportunity to learn. And if you feel like you need to learn something or become stronger at something specific, they'll give you the tools you need.
I hope to be here till, you know, till the end. I love it. I love my job, and I love the atmosphere. I love the flexibility. It's just all in all a great place to work.
So my biggest success story of being at Maine so far is Mrs. Safwat. Over the course of her inquiries and placing the order, and then when she got her post, I had probably spent upwards of an hour to 2 hours on the phone with this woman. But she had such a distinctive accent. And because I pick up the phone right away, as soon as she would say, "Good morning, Lauren," I would say, "Good morning, Mrs. Safwa, how are you?" And she would just love that I remembered her name each time she called. And when all was said and done, a couple of weeks later, a package showed up in the mail for me with 4 gigantic chocolate bars and some photos of herself in the most amazing Liza Minnelli poses. As a thank you for, you know, all of the help I was able to give her and all of the patience I had with her on the phone.
Stephen talks about having, we've enjoyed the good, the bad, the ugly, and then I look back and I go, I've seen my employees get married, have kids, Ken having a baby, you had a baby, you moved to the Carolinas, like all these things we've got to experience life together, which just makes it even more of a connection to enjoy the higher highs and really to kind of have more pain in the lower lows.
And I would think trust is a huge part of that. You know that you trust that, you know, if you need help, these guys got your back. I talk to you guys every single day for advice and support, and used to.
I've had to learn too that, Ken, like as much as I've trusted people because I've came out of a trust culture, they've had to trust me. You guys have had to trust me to go down to North Carolina and flounder around.
And sometimes it's been blindly
money,
trusting.
And that's difficult.
Yeah, blind trust.
It's been more difficult for them to trust me than it has for me to trust them.
My own feeling is, and you know it, I write you the emails, you're in a completely different universe. And I'm dead serious, this is no joke. For me, I'm unbelievably thankful.
We went to Toronto, I forget the name of the hotel it was in this, you can see the airport from it anyway, and it was a Christmas party, and it was called the British Invasion. And this group of people were in there, and they sang all the British, you know, Rolling Stones, Beatles, hits and that, and it was a weekend that the company paid for. I just sat there and everybody was looking at me, boy, he's enjoying himself. I was just singing along, because I knew all the songs, you know, but it was fantastic. Yeah, one of the best memories I have of some of the things they've done for us here, you know.
Yeah, it's a generational torch passing because like Ben pointed out, Dad did that with you. You guys did it with us. And it was more of a figure it out. If there was one 3-line word, it's a figure it out culture. Yeah.
I think the New England Arbor spirit is to give each person the freedom, if they want, to find their own place and not, I think that there's kind of a path for each person, that they're maybe hired to intend on walking down a certain path. But if you deviate from that path, or if you want to bloom into a different area, it's always welcomed here. And kind of, I feel like everybody that works here now has just come in like a little pod and found their own space, and it would be hard to find somebody to do exactly what anybody does, because everybody has kind of created their own role.
Just relax into the way God has created you. You're gifted with a certain set of abilities, and you know what? We need those abilities. You need my abilities. Together we can 1 + 1 = 3. And let's help you become more of you. And don't worry about becoming somebody else.